What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So there's roughly 35 games left in the MLB season. I think the actual number is 37, but roughly 35. So there's not that many games left for teams to go on a miracle run to the playoffs or hold their playoff chance. So we're gonna look at the wild card, the standings, and just deep dive into who I think is gonna go in and not. So let's hop into it. So starting the American League Central, in fifth place, we have the White Sox at 45 and 83. We all know the White Sox are going to stay down there. The White Sox aren't going anywhere anytime soon. In fourth place, we have the Twins at 59 and 69. They're 17 out with 35 games left. It's almost impossible. I don't see the Twins. I don't think they're catching the Guardians, so they're going to stay in fourth. The Guardians are in third at 64 and 63. It's been a rough year for the Guardians. They've turned it on as of late, but they started out not good and had a rough stretch, but they're still a solid baseball team. The Royals are in second at 66 and 63. 10.5 behind the Tigers in first, and I don't see the Tigers losing that 10.5 game lead with 35. So I think the Tigers will stay in first with 77 and 53, followed by the Royals at 66 and 63, followed by the Guardians at 64 and 63, followed by the Twins at 59 and 69, and then followed in last place with the White Sox at 45 and 83. And I think the AL Central is going to stay that way for the rest of the year. In the AL East, we have the Orioles in 59, with the record of 59 and 69. Let me tell you, it's been a rough year for Baltimore. They did just sign super prospect to an extension, but the front office did not do their job, and it showed. Adley's been a slump. Garner's been a slump. They haven't really turned it on, and it's been a disappointing year for Orioles fans. So the Orioles, I think, are going to stay in fifth. The Rays, they started out real hot, but have cooled down. They're at 62 and 6-7. The Rays, they have a good young team. Juma Kiminario, he's good. They have a lot of young studs. The Yankees, it's been bad for them this year. They're at 69 and 59. They might catch the Red Sox because they're only half a game behind the Red Sox, but it's been a rough year for the Yankees. The Red Sox, they've had a lot of injuries with Bregman. Aroldis Chapman has been insane this year. That guy's been a stud. They're chilling at 70 and 59. And the Blue Jays, I don't think anyone saw this coming. The Blue Jays have a record of 75 and 54. They've been hot, kept the good vibes going, and it's worked out real well in Toronto. The Blue Jays are winning games, and they have a good team this year. On to the AL West. We have the A's in last place. Everyone saw this coming. It's kind of like the White Sox and the Rockies. The A's have a record of 59 and 70, followed by the Angels. The Angels cooled down. They were in second for a lot of the year, but then they kind of got cold like they always do. They have a record of 61 and 66, followed by the Rangers at 64 and 66, followed by the Mariners at 68 and 60. The Mariners are only 2.5 behind the Astros. And the Astros did go in getting Jesus Sanchez and Carlos Correa at the deadline, the Mariners were aggressive buyers. They got Josh Naylor, who's a great bat, solid defense. They got Geno Suarez, who started out really cold as a Mariner. He had his 40th homer of the year this year. He's turned it on. I really think if Geno gets going with the Mariners pitching staff and their offense, I think by the end of the year, the Mariners will be ahead of the Astros, and the Astros will be in second place. So that's it for the AL. On to the National League. For the NL Central, we have the Pirates in fifth place. No surprise again, they're 55 and 74. Followed by the Cardinals at 64 and 66. The Cardinals, they're in fourth place in this division because this division is good, but they're not that far of a wild card, which we'll talk about in a second. They started out really hot, cooled down, and then got hot and then cooled down. So it's been a bumpy ride for Cardinals fans this year. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. The Reds, they're at 6-7 and 61. Terry Francona has been fantastic manager for that club. He's done great things with that ball club, and they're right in the wild card hunt as well. And then the Chicago Cubs at 74 and 55. They're still 7 games back on the 81 and 48 Brewers. The Brewers, they have the best record in baseball. They won on a 14-game winning streak. Actually, it was 15. They won a game for 2 weeks and 1 day straight. The Brewers team, the Brewer crew, they can't lose to anyone right now, and they're having a fantastic year. Mad respect for the Brewers. On to the NL East, we have the Nationals in fifth place. 53 and 75 for the Nationals. I expected the Nationals to be better. They have James Woods, CJ Abrams. They have a lot of young talent, like teams like the Rockies, the Pirates. They just can't put it together. So I expected the Nationals to be better, but they're in fifth place. followed by the Atlanta Braves. Raise your hand if you saw the Braves coming in fourth place and only five back out of last place. It's been an injured-riddled year. Like, they lost Acuna at the start of the year. Spencer Strider went down. Austin Riley's out for the year. It's been an injury-riddled year, and they've had pitching issues. So, it's been an interesting year for the Braves, but they're at 58 and 70, followed by the Marlins. That's a shocker. I did not see the Marlins ahead of the Braves, but shout out to the Miami. They they have a lot of young talent too, especially Edward Cabrera. Guy's gonna be a Cy Young Award winner in a couple years. But the Marlins are at 60 and 68, followed by the Mets in second place, who are at 68 and 60. The Mets, it's been bumpy, really hot, cooled down like crazy, and they've kind of been in a slump lately. Followed by the Phillies, who have been on fire recently. Their record shows 5 and 5, but they've toned it around. They're at 74 and 54, and the vibes seem to be back in Philly. On to the NL West. So we have the Colorado Rockies at 37 and 92. I don't think anyone saw the Rockies to be this bad, but let's be honest. We all expected the Rockies to be in fifth place in this loaded division. They have a couple young studs like Tavar and Brenton Doyle, but they don't have like it's not a good franchise. Let's if we're gonna be completely honest. Followed by the Giants at 61 and 68. The Giants started out really hot, but since that Rafael Devers trade, have been the worst team in major leagues. They're at 61 and 68, followed by the Diamondbacks at 62 and 68 or 62 and 66. I don't see this team going to second place, especially with the Padres or the Dodgers, and I don't see them making a wild card. I'd be shocked if they make a wild card. And then the Padres at 73 and 56, followed by the Dodgers at 73 and 56. The Padres beat the Dodgers 2-1 tonight, so the Padres are in first place ahead of the Dodgers. Let's go Padres. I hate the Dodgers, and it's going to be a wild series. I hope the Padres sweep them and I hope the Padres go ahead of the Dodgers. That would be awesome in my life. So that's on for the just regular standings. Now let's go to the wild card. So in the AL wildcard, we have the Twins, or the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and the Astros. Those are the three division leaders. So if the season ended today, the top three teams in each division would automatically get an entry in. So if the season ended today, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and the Astros would all get in. The three wildcard teams would be the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Mariners. The closest team behind the Mariners for that final wildcard spot is the Royals at 3 games, followed by the Guardians at 4, followed by the Rangers at 5.5 out, followed by the Rays at 7 out, by the Los Angeles Angels 7.5 out, followed by the Baltimore Orioles 9.5 out, Twins 9.5 out, A's 10.5 out, and White Sox 23.5 out. So we can automatically eliminate the Twins, the A's, and the Athletics and the White Sox. So those three teams are gone. I'm sorry, but Baltimore Orioles and Angels, I'm gonna get rid of you, followed by the Rangers and the Rays. I think you're all gone. This is where it gets interesting. If the Rangers go on a run where they win, like they're 3-7 in their last 10, if they win like flip that around and win 7 out of 3, they could be right in the mix. But I still don't think they have enough to do it. Followed by the Guardians at 4. This is where I think it gets interesting. I I believe in the Mariners. I think they'll be ahead of the Astros, so the Astros will be dropped down. So, and I don't see the Yankees being this good. I can really see a scenario where the Mariners are a division lead, so they automatically get in. Astros are in that first wildcard spot. The Yankees continue to slip. They are 7-3 in the last 10, but I can see it where the Royals get in. I just have a good feeling about this Royals team. Mark my words, they'll be in the playoffs by the end of the year. So it would be Twins. Why do I keep saying Twins? Blue Jays, Tigers, followed by Seattle for the automatically entries in the division lead, followed by the Red Sox, no, the Astros, the Royals, and the Mariners for the final wildcard spots. So that's my predictions for the AL. Now on to the NL wildcard. The three division leaders are the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Cubs. No surprises there. Or no, the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Dodgers, those three teams are crushing everyone right now. They've had a great year, so I'm not surprised by that. But the three wildcard teams are the Cubs, the Padres, and the Mets. The Mets are they only have a 1.5 game lead on the Reds. I can really see this where the Mets are on a slide lately. They're 5-5. I think the Reds overtake the Mets because Terry Francona has done great things to that ball club. So I can see the Reds getting in. The Cardinals don't have a chance at out. The Arizona Diamondbacks don't at 5.5 out, especially not the Giants at 7.5 out. The Marlins, they've had a pretty good year, but I don't. That 7-3 slide has not helped them. The Braves know at 10, the Pirates know at 13.5, the Nationals know at 15 out, and the Colorado Rockies are going to be an NL wildcard team. I'm just kidding. They're 31.5 games out. So I think it will be the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Dodgers. No, Phillies, Brewers, and the Padres as the automatic entries to the division leaders, followed by the Cubs, Dodgers, and then I think the Reds will overtake the Mets for the wild card. That's it for my predictions for today's video. Let me know what you think of my predictions and just the standings in general down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Peace.